What's the scariest way to go? You might think of car crashes, storms, or maybe wild animals. But sometimes, the most terrifying dangers hide in the everyday things we take for granted. A boy dies after simply swallowing a balloon. A man loses his life by just stepping into a puddle of water, only to discover it was filled with flesh-eating bacteria. Someone mistakes a bottle and accidentally puts superglue in their eye. And in one of the most bizarre cases ever reported, a person actually died from eating a hamburger with a razor blade inside. These aren't horror movie plots. They're real stories, reported in international news. And they remind us that sometimes the ordinary can turn deadly in ways no one expects. Picture this. You're at Burger King, ready to dive into a juicy cheeseburger. Golden bun, melty cheese, the works. You take a big, blissful bite, expecting burger heaven, when screech! Your mouth meets metal.
Oh, no!
Cue horror movie violin shrieks and a cartoonish jaw drop. In a 2013 fast food nightmare straight from the New York Post, a woman in California chomped into her Burger King cheeseburger and discovered a razor blade lurking inside like a culinary serial killer. It all went down when an unsuspecting fast food fan ordered their usual burger, took one fateful chomp, and youch! Felt like they'd kissed a lawnmower. The villain? A razor blade, sneakily nestled between the patty and bun like a culinary ninja. Was it sabotage by a disgruntled fry cook?
Oh!
A factory flub? Or a supply chain plot cooked up by evil masterminds? Whatever the cause, the result was a one-way ticket to Ouchtown. Population. One very unhappy mouth. How does a razor blade even sneak into a burger? Investigators, stroking their chins like food safety Sherlock Holmeses, spilled the tea. Food tampering, while rare, is a thing. Razor blades, pins, even glass shards have crashed the packaged food party before. Sometimes it's a prankster with too much time on their hands. Other times, it's a factory oopsie that turns your burger into a booby trap. Either way, your happy meal just became a horrifying meal.
Oh,
The damage?
no!
Oh, it wasn't just a nick. We're talking mouth cuts that'd make a vampire wince, bleeding like a B-movie, and the sheer terror of nearly swallowing a piece of cutlery-grade steel. Doctors patched up the poor diner, but the real wound? Never trusting a cheeseburger again. Imagine eyeing every bun like it's hiding a tiny sword. Talk about fast food. PTSD. So, what's the moral of this razor-sharp tale? First, chew like you're defusing a bomb. Second, if your burger feels like it's fighting back, stop eating and call the food cops, aka health authorities. Third, trust your gut. If your meal seems sketchy, don't play hero. Oh, and tampering? It's a crime that'll land you in hotter water than a deep fryer. Food's supposed to be a hug on a plate, not a trip to the ER. In the end, razor blade burgers are rarer than a unicorn at a drive-thru. But they're a reminder. Even your favorite meal can hide a stabby surprise. So next time you're about to dive into burger paradise, maybe give that bun a quick X-ray glance, just in case. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. Your eyes are itchier than a wool sweater on a summer day, and you're fumbling in the dark like a raccoon raiding a campsite. You grab what you think is your trusty eye drop bottle. Sweet relief awaits. But, oh no, plot twist. You've snatched the supervillain of adhesives, Superglue. Cue dramatic orchestral sting. Yes, folks, in 2015, international headlines screamed about a poor soul who turned their peepers into a DIY craft project gone horribly wrong. The moment the glue touched his eye, his eyelids seemed to declare, "We are closed for business." Stuck tighter than a bank vault, his eyelashes were welded shut like the clumsy craft of a kindergarten child. Inside, it felt like swords stabbing into his nerves. You could already feel the agony. The pain only grew sharper as the superglue's chemicals ate into his cornea like acid. Finally, his pupil dilated, and he was left permanently blind because the glue had burned deep into his eye. Glue in the eye accidents happen worldwide because glue and eye drop bottles look identical. Doctors say, don't rip, rinse with warm water, and head to the hospital. Moral? Always read the label, or risk turning your eyes into a DIY craft project you'll regret. Picture this. A perfectly ordinary evening in Halial, Karnataka, where a 13-year-old 7th grader is living his best life, puffing away at a balloon like he's training for the World Balloon Blowing Championships. The living room is his stage, the balloon his trusty sidekick. Until, in a plot twist worthy of a tragic sitcom, the balloon pulls a Houdini and dives straight down his throat. Cue the dramatic music. Within seconds, our hero's gasping, the balloon playing the role of an overzealous airway bouncer. His parents, in a scene straight out of an action movie, speed him to the hospital. But that latex menace has sealed his windpipe tighter than a hipster's skinny jeans. Despite the doctor's valiant efforts, the curtain falls on this young balloon enthusiast. Here's the kicker. It's not just tiny tots at risk. Our 13-year-old balloon maestro proves even tweens can fall victim to these inflatable fiends. One ill-timed inhale between puffs, and that balloon turns from party pal to grim reaper faster than you can say happy birthday. So, how do we outsmart these rubber rogues? Keep kids under 8 away from balloon-blowing duties, leave it to the adults, or, better yet, a robot. Teach kids that balloons aren't chew toys unless they're aiming for a Darwin Award. Balloons may float around looking all innocent, bobbing at parties like they're just here for a good time. In April 2023, 41-year-old handyman Jeff Bova stepped into a rainwater pond near Julian, California, to rescue his dog. He managed to catch the pup, but when he came out, his hands and arms were wet. On one arm was a small cut, barely noticeable, nothing he thought twice about. Hours later, the irritation set in. The skin around the cut turned red, warm, and tender. By nightfall, the swelling grew worse. Blisters formed, and streaks of redness began spreading quickly. Fever and vomiting soon followed, with the pain escalating to unbearable levels. Doctors later confirmed Jeff had been infected with necrotizing fasciitis, better known as flesh-eating bacteria. Once inside, the bacteria spread rapidly, destroying tissue and releasing toxins. Even with intensive medical care, the infection progressed faster than anyone could stop it. To stay safe, experts recommend covering open wounds, avoiding questionable water, and seeking immediate care if symptoms worsen. Jeff's mother later urged others not to dismiss cuts that suddenly swell or blister, reminding everyone that what seems like a minor scratch can turn into something far more serious. In the end, a simple act to save a beloved pet turned into a tragedy, a stark reminder of how unpredictable and dangerous nature's hidden threats can be.